What's up, guys? Hokage Puya here, and we're back 1 month later. We're here to preview another batch of games in Asian World Cup qualifying, round three, road to World Cup 2026. We have a lot to cover today. Like I always do, we're going to go through every single group, all three groups this time around. We're going to go through all the teams, all the matchups, going to see and predict how the games are going to play out. We're going to talk about what all these teams need to do to get that place in World Cup 2026, the United States North American tournament in 2 years' time. And you guys, we always have a lot of games to go through. We know we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So without further ado, guys, like the video, subscribe if you're new around here, man, and let's just get into it. Let's not waste each other's time. Time is money, guys. Time is money. Let's not waste each other's time. Like I'll always do it. There's upcoming matches to the left of the screen, current table standings at the bottom of the screen. Let's get into it. Group A. Okay, so we're 4 games in right now. And there's 12 games to be played in total, right? There's 10 games to be played in total because each team plays all the other 5 teams in the group twice. So after these games, we will be 6 games done. There will only be 4 more games left to determine who goes to World Cup 2026 from the Asian Confederation. We're here looking in at Group A, and really, at the moment, it's a 2-horse race. When we left off back a month ago in November, we're basically at a 2-horse race between Iran and Uzbekistan to basically get those top 2 places to automatically qualify for World Cup 2026. So Iran and Uzbekistan, as you can see, both on 10 points, both on 3 wins, both on a draw. The draw actually coming from Iran and Uzbekistan drawing against each other 1 month ago in October, in a very, very, very boring. I think it was a 0-0, 1-1 game. I wanted to fall asleep. I was so mad at myself for waking up early to watch that Iran Uzbekistan game. It was awful. But anyway, Iran Uzbekistan leading. Qatar. Listen, because of the new expanded World Cup format. Traditionally in AFC qualifying, there used to be just top 2 qualifying and going to the World Cup. Now it's top 2 plus a third team from each group. So 3 more Asian teams are going to the World Cup, and it's third and fourth place in each group play each other in a playoff to make it to World Cup 2026. And so really, it used to always be a fight for getting to the top 2. Now you got to get to the top 4 to just have a chance in that playoff to get to World Cup 2026. And in Group A here, I would say it's a 3-horse race for third and fourth place. It's UAE, Qatar, and Kyrgyzstan. Now, Qatar is a weird one. They started so badly. They rebounded last month in October, but right now they're only on 4 points with the UAE. Now, why do I put in the title of my video, does the Qatar downfall start? Well, look at this, okay? Iran, okay, let's just go through the games. Iran is playing North Korea. We know they don't actually go and play in North Korea, so I'm forgetting where they're playing. But Iran's going to smash North Korea. North Korea is not that good. Shout out Kim Jong-un. I'm not scared of you. I'm coming in with all the smoke. Yes, we grew up together, Kim Jong-un, but I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you, bro. I want all the smoke. Kim, I want all the smoke. But, Iran's probably going to beat North Korea. And Qatar versus Uzbekistan. This is definitely a game. Although Qatar is at home, Uzbekistan can absolutely, with the form they've been in, how strong the defense has been. Uzbekistan, don't be surprised if Uzbekistan goes to Qatar and beats these guys. If Iran and Uzbekistan both win these first games of the November games, out of the 2 games, Iran will be on 13 points, Uzbekistan will be on 13 points, Qatar will be on 4 points. Then it's looking like Iran and Uzbekistan will probably take it all the way and get first and second place. So if Qatar loses at home to Uzbekistan here, this could be the beginning of the downfall for Qatar, the 2-time defending Asian champions, being a disgraceful host, being a disgraceful Asian champion and not getting to World Cup 2026. Qatar has to win at home against Uzbekistan to put themselves back into the race to get into top 2. But do not be surprised if Uzbekistan goes there and beats them. UAE versus Kyrgyzstan, I think this is another game where you could get some separation for who gets those third and fourth places. I think ultimately, with how strong UAE is, I don't think they'll contend for first or second place, but absolutely UAE is in the front running to finish third place, maybe even fourth if their form dips. But if they could beat Kyrgyzstan here, who is on 3 points, who is only 1 point behind UAE and Qatar in challenging for those playoff spots, it would be very beneficial for UAE here to get some distance between them and Kyrgyzstan at least, and getting the win at home. Again, tough game. Kyrgyzstan has been very tough so far. They've lost 3 times, but they got that big win last time out. So yeah, against North Korea, obviously. So yeah, and then UAE also has another home game against Qatar. Now, this is why I say, can the Qatar downfall start? Because, like I said, in Qatar's home game against Uzbekistan, Qatar can easily go to the UAE's home and lose. The UAE is pretty strong at home. They are a very strong team at home. This is what I'm saying. If Qatar leaves these 2 games with 0 points, you are seeing the beginning of the downfall of the Qatar Football Federation, and it would be embarrassment for the 2-time defending Asia Cup champions to be performing this badly in round 3 qualifying. So UAE has a great shot at winning that game at home against Qatar. If I'm being realistic, if Qatar is serious, if they're a serious freaking Asian champion, they go there and beat them. Obviously, then North Korea at home to Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan probably wins that too. And then Kyrgyzstan hosting Iran. That's actually going to be a tough game for Iran. Away to Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan at home is a tough team to play. But, if I'm looking at these games, if I'm going to predict each game, I think Iran beats North Korea. Honestly, I think Qatar Uzbekistan could end in a draw. I think UAE probably beats Kyrgyzstan at home, and I'm going to go for it. I think the UAE and Qatar are actually going to draw in that second game. I think Uzbekistan will beat North Korea, and honestly, you have to go with the strength of Iran. I think Iran, my boys, will get the job done and get 2 wins out of 2 and beat Kyrgyzstan here. And I think if those results pan out, you would see Iran being clear first place, then Uzbekistan second, UAE third, Qatar fourth, Kyrgyzstan fifth, and North Korea sixth. So if all those scores, all those results happen, you will see the table stay the same as it is now. So Qatar, very dicey games here. UAE, I think, as long as they just get that win against Kyrgyzstan, it's okay if they lose to Qatar, but they just need to get that home win to Kyrgyzstan to put some distance between them and Kyrgyzstan for that third or fourth place spot. But I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrgyzstan pulls up and gets a result, a draw, or maybe even a win. It's very possible. Like I said, guys, this World Cup qualifying, the thinnest of margins. We're going to get to Group C, the thinnest of margins with our best friends in Indonesia. And it's gung-ho out here. It's the Wild Wild West. Anything can happen, but that's how I'm going to predict Group A. And yeah, Kim, I have all the smoke, bro. I'm saying North Korea is not going to get any freaking points this time in November. So yeah, go suck your mom, Kim Jong. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not. Group B. Now, this is an interesting one because at face value, and I know I say this every Asia Cup preview video, but at face value, guys, traditionally you look at this group and you think, oh, it's South Korea completely like the way stronger team out of all 6 teams. And maybe you would favor Iraq to get second place in the group and make it to World Cup 2026, right? However, in 2024 now, guys, South Korea, you guys, not much separates South Korea, Jordan, and Iraq. Not much separates these 3 teams. Jordan with their high-octane attacking football. South Korea, now with the South Korean manager, having a more disciplined midfield and defense to allow their attackers like Kang In Lee, Heung-min Son, Hwang Hee-chan to go and deliver the goods up top. And then you have Iraq, rugged, tough players. They have technical players as well. And obviously, Hussein always banging in the goals for them here in 2024. This is a tough, tough group. But if we're looking at the games, and obviously don't count out Oman, Kuwait, and Palestine because all those teams have a chance at battling for third and fourth place. But if I'm going to be honest, like I said in my previous videos, in Group B, there is only 3 teams I'm looking at that will compete for that first or second automatic qualification. It's South Korea, Jordan, and Iraq, the 3 big hitters I talked about just now. But it could easily be a competition between Jordan, Iraq, Oman, Kuwait, and Palestine to battle for those third and fourth positions. I think South Korea, out of all these teams, given their history, their strength, how strong their squad is, South Korea absolutely will probably get first place in this group. I would bet a lot of money on that. But Jordan, Iraq, it's gonna be tough in this group. So if we're gonna look at these games here, Kuwait hosting South Korea, I think South Korea will probably get the win there. And then you have Oman versus Palestine now. This is an interesting game because no, I think if Oman wins, it really digs a huge blow into Palestine's hopes in getting into the playoff game and potentially going to World Cup. But if Palestine wins, I think it gives them a great chance. It puts them on 5 points, and Oman would still be on 3 points. But it wouldn't be the end of, it wouldn't be as big of a blow to Oman to lose than if Palestine lost, if that makes sense. And then obviously the big big game in this group, and I will try to tune in for this. It's not that early for me. It's going to be at 8:15 in the morning for me. Iraq versus Jordan. Actually, I'll be at work. I'll be at freaking work. I think I could catch the first half before I head into work at 9. But Iraq versus Jordan, big game. As this, if you want to see an exciting game, tune in for Iraq Jordan. Attacking football. This is honestly, in Asia right now, disregarding Japan, if you're looking at those Middle Eastern countries, bro, Iraq versus Jordan, that's a it, bro, that's an attacking clash, dude. I'm expecting at least 3 goals in this game. At least. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 4 goals, 5 goals in this game. Hussein versus the attacking threat of Jordan. I am going to be trying to tune into that game. Tune in. If I'm being honest here, I cannot choose right now. I cannot predict who would win between Iraq and Jordan. I really can't. If if I'm being if I'm being honest, I think Jordan can get the win here. Even though they're away from home, I really think Jordan can get the win here because they have been performing better in these World Cup qualifyings so far, these games so far, than Iraq. So even though it's away from home, I think Jordan will win this. Then Palestine against Korea at home. Obviously, they don't actually play at home. I think South Korea, another win there. Oman, Iraq. This could be a tricky game for Iraq. Oman has actually been deceptively hard in these World Cup qualifyings. Yes, they've lost 3 times, but don't let that distract you that they got their win. They're on 3 points. But Iraq, if they're serious about getting to World Cup 2026, they will win and they will have to make it. I think this Oman-Iraq game, it's a good chance for Iraq to send a statement in this group and go and win 3-0, 4-1, something like that. Go smash Oman. That would be a great statement victory. And then you have another big game. Jordan, 2 big games this round. Kuwait versus Jordan. Now, the reason this is such a big game is because I want you to go here, bottom of the screen, look at Kuwait's record. Yes, they haven't won, but they've only lost once and they've drawn 3 times. This is going to be a very tough game for Jordan. Don't get me wrong. That Kuwait defense is going to try to lock them down as much as they can, and it's going to be a difficult test for this Jordan team, this young, bright Jordan team in Asia, to go to Kuwait and get that W. So don't just think, oh, Kuwait, Jordan, oh, Jordan made it to the Asia Cup final. Oh, they're going to smash Kuwait. Look at Kuwait, man. Look at Kuwait. They have a draw. They have 3 draws. They haven't won, but they only have 1 loss. That's going to be a tough game. So honestly, I think Kuwait and Jordan can be another draw there. I really think so. I really think so. That Kuwait defense is tough this time around. So, yeah, man, Group B, a lot of exciting action here. If I'm going to run through the games really quick one more time, I think South Korea will be professional and get that win against Kuwait away from home. Honestly, I think Oman will. Honestly, I think Oman and Palestine will be a draw. I think Jordan will beat Iraq, and I'm going to tell you, Jordan will beat Iraq 2-1. I think South Korea will beat Palestine. I think Iraq will get the job done against Oman like 2-0. And honestly, I'm going to go a Kuwait-Jordan 1-1 draw. So that will be my predictions for Group B. So yeah, guys, well, I'll look back on this video before I make my review video and see how I did on my predictions. So I'll report back to you guys after all the games are done. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go on. That's what I'm going to go on for these rounds of games in Group B. And finally, into our last group. This is kind of like the drama show group. So obviously, Japan, Australia, Saudi Arabia. How many times have you had this group? Blah blah blah. All the memes. But Go back to September when these games started. Remember, Australia started so poorly, but they did go and get the win and a draw last time out. They got the draw against Japan, right? They got that draw against Japan and they got Japan to drop points. So this time around, Australia having a game against Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, given the way Saudi Arabia has been playing, let's just go through the matches here. I think at home, Australia will get the job done against Saudi because actually, interesting point to talk about here with Saudi. Mancini left and Hervé Renard came back to the Saudi team. Remember, Hervé Renard is the guy that got them to the 2018 World Cup. Hervé Renard is back with the Saudi Arabia team, but is it a little too late to get Saudi Arabia into proper contention into those first or second place spots? Now, look at the group. It's very freaking close. 10 points for Japan, but Australia, Saudi, and Bahrain all on 5 points, and obviously our friends Indonesia and China on 3 points. So this is a big game for both Australia and Saudi Arabia. Both teams, I think worst case scenario for either of these teams is a draw because it doesn't create any distance between you two when you're competing for first or second place. One of these teams has to win this game. I'm favoring Australia. I think Australia will win this game, but you guys, the re-addition of Hervé Renard into the Saudi Arabian setup, this can be a potential statement game for Hervé Renard to announce himself back to the AFC World Cup qualifying pool and say, "I'm back. I'm taking over Saudi again, and I'm here to be serious." And honestly, dude, honestly, I don't know. I think I'll go with Australia to get this win at home. Next game in that group that day, Bahrain versus China. Now, I'm forgetting who China. Oh, okay. I remember who China beat. We'll get to those guys. Bahrain versus China. Okay. Listen, Bahrain are doing a lot better than I thought. China's win is such a fluke. I'm not even going to entertain China being a team that's going to compete in this group for even fourth place. I'm not even entertaining it. Bahrain. Now, they are performing a lot better than I expected. A lot better than I expected. So respect to them. But if Bahrain, and I said this about our friends in Indonesia, I'm about to get to you guys. Bahrain, if you are going to be serious about having a chance to make it at this World Cup, you need to beat China and you need to beat them convincingly. And I want to see 3-0. I want to see 3-1. I want to see 4-1, 5 goals. I want you guys to show me that you can batter a team. Because look at Bahrain. Yes, they're on 5 points, but only 3 goals scored, 7 conceded. I need more goals, Bahrain, to take you serious. I need more goals. So let's see what they do at home. I think they'll get the job done and eventually beat China at home, but I think it's going to be closer than people expect because I just don't think Bahrain is as good as this table says they are. I just don't think so. That's just my opinion. And then obviously, listen, Indonesia fans, I know how previously in my Asia Cup videos, I know a lot of Indonesia fans watched. Shout out if you're from Indonesia watching right now. This is going to be tough. At home against Japan, you guys really, like I said it last time, you guys really, really screwed up in October. You needed to get 2 wins. You needed to beat Bahrain. You needed to beat China. I mean, yeah, you needed to beat Bahrain and you needed to beat China, and you didn't freaking do that. You didn't freaking do that. And I just sit here and I think it's a missed opportunity. And right now you find yourself on 3 points and you're playing Japan and Saudi Arabia this window. So listen, Indonesia, if I'm being honest, best best case scenario for Indonesia here, if they want to hope, because I think for Indonesia, I'm being honest, Indonesia fans, I think you guys have no chance at getting top 2 in this group. If you guys want to make it to the World Cup, Indonesia have to get into those playoff spots and then hope for a miracle in those 2-legged playoff games. So Indonesia really at home here, they should really abandon their football and play defensive and try to get a draw against Japan. And then let's head over to the Indonesia game at home again against Saudi. Depending on, let's see how Saudi looks against Australia. Indonesia can get that win against Saudi at home. They can. Saudi's defense is not strong. That defense is there to score goals on. And at home, I would have more confidence in Indonesia beating Saudi at home than obviously beating Japan at home. So if I'm going to predict Indonesia Japan, they need to get a draw, but I think Japan is just going to get the job done. Japan is just way too strong for this young Indonesia team. Then you have China versus Japan. Japan's going to smash them. Yeah, that's a big rivalry right there, China versus Japan. And then back to this Indonesia Saudi game. Listen, it's hard for me to give a prediction on this Indonesia Saudi game because I don't know how Saudi Arabia are going to look with Hervé Renard back into the picture. But I honestly think that Indonesia can get a win here. I really think so because I feel like there's a belief with the Indonesia setup and fans right now that they can get to this World Cup. I think Indonesia just needs that one big result. I really think, and I'm not just being biased here, I really think Indonesia will get this result at home against Saudi. And then obviously the last game of this group, Bahrain versus Australia. I think Australia, if they get that win against Saudi, I think Australia will be back into the flow of things. I think they'll win the rest of their games, barely drop points. And I think if they win the Saudi game, like I think they will, Australia will ultimately then go and beat Bahrain, which if you're looking at the team, if I'm Saudi Arabia, if I'm a Saudi Arabian fan, if I'm an Indonesia fan, I'm praying China takes points off Bahrain, and you're praying that Australia destroys Bahrain. Not just a win, but destroys them to, worsen their goal difference. So even though their goal difference is already bad with -4 Bahrain, obviously, because of the Japan game, right, I think Japan absolutely mauled them. Yeah, I remember now. Japan absolutely mauled them. So yeah, guys, let's just to go through those Group C games again. I think Australia is going to beat Saudi. I think Bahrain versus China. I think Bahrain will get the job done. Indonesia for Japan. Indonesia needs the draw, but I think Japan will win. I think Japan is going to smash China. I honestly think Indonesia will beat Saudi Arabia at home. And I think Australia is going to get the business done against Bahrain. And yeah, get themselves 6 points out of 6 in this window, putting themselves in prime position to automatically qualify for World Cup 2026. And yeah, guys, let me just go back here. Yeah, so this is tough. A lot of big games, like I said, I'm going to say it every time for these videos. Every time we go into more qualifying games, there's tons of big games to see. There's tons of points at stake. The future, a lot of countries' hopes for a World Cup are at stake. This is the excitement of World Cup qualifying, the heartbreak, the happiness that comes after the end of round 3 qualifying in AFC. Sorry, I was losing myself there. I just had a stroke. It's a lot to take in, but I just want to say, if you're a football fan and your team isn't doing well, if you're an Indonesia fan and your team doesn't do well here, at the end of the day, guys, just enjoy watching your teams play. Be respectful to other fans, and let's just have fun with this, man. And World Cup qualifying, dude. No, I don't think, I know. So after these November games, I should have probably said this at the beginning of the video just for information for you guys. But for anyone who's still watching, these November games, these 2 games in November for AFC qualifying here, these will actually be the last qualifying games until March of next year. So we won't have 5 months of World Cup qualifying for Asia. So very interesting because it's going to be very interesting to see how that 5-month gap affects how these teams play. Because players will get injured, players will fall in and out of form. Some managers might get sacked. Some federations might get desperate and try something crazy to try to get to this World Cup. Because this World Cup 2026 in North America, aka USA, is going to be huge. And I know a lot of federations here would not want to miss out, and they want to be here. So, yeah, there's something to keep in mind, man. We're going to go into a 5-month World Cup qualifying hiatus for AFC, and I don't know, we'll talk about it when we get there in 5-6 months time next year, but a lot of things can change once we get to those games in March. You guys, it's been Hokage Puya. If you like the video, subscribe, man. Always pumping out this Asia Cup content whenever the Asian international breaks come along. Let me know in the comments, man, your opinions on the groups. If you disagree with me, let me know why, man. I like to know what you guys have to say. And, in this 5-month break where we're not going to have any AFC, World Cup qualifying and preview review videos, let me know if there's any AFC content anyone wants to see out there. I have bias for Iran. I'm Persian. I'll probably make some Iran videos within that time talking about the direction of the Iranian national team and what Amir Galinoy is doing with them. But if you're an Indonesian, Australian, Japanese, China, if you guys want content on that, I'll give you that content. I'll do some research. I'll put a video together for you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys for the review video. This is the preview video. Sometimes I get it mixed up, but let's see how these games roll out. Description, I have email. My Twitter's on there if you want to see my live reaction to results in games on my Twitter. I'm always tweeting on my thoughts. And yeah, thanks for watching. Tune in after the games are done for my review video that always drops the day of or the day after the qualifying games are done. You guys, it's been your boy Hokage Puya. I wish you guys luck in AFC qualifying. See you guys in the next one. Peace.